So you can't stop thinking about your ex. They're the first thing on your mind when you wake up and maybe the last thing you think about before you fall asleep. If you can, even fall asleep. You check their social media constantly. Maybe you replay old conversations over and over again in your head. You analyze every interaction you ever had, just looking for clues about where things went wrong or signs that they might still care. No, this isn't just about missing someone, this is probably then an obsession, and it's making your life hell. So in this video I'm gonna explain exactly why your brain won't shut up about your ex, why trying to force yourself to stop thinking about them only makes it worse, and what you actually need to do to break free from this mental prison. So here's what most breakup advice tells you. Just distract yourself, stay busy, go to the gym, hang out with friends. And you've probably tried all of that. Maybe it works for a few hours, but then you're back where you started, lying in bed at 2 a.m., wondering what they're doing, who they're with, whether they ever think about you. Now, the reason all this generic advice fails is because it doesn't address the root cause of your obsession, in my opinion. It's just like putting a band-aid on a bullet wound. Your brain isn't obsessing over your ex because you're bored or because you need more hobbies. There's something much deeper going on, and until you understand what that is and deal with it directly, I think you're gonna be stuck in this loop for a long time. Now, the good news: once you understand the actual psychology behind this, start to break free from it, not by fighting or suppressing it, by working with your brain instead of against it, things are gonna get much easier. Now, before we get into the psychology, I want to offer you something practical. I created a free cheat sheet that helps you get back with your ex. It's my entire roadmap based on honesty, self-improvement, and actual psychological principles that helps you actually mend your relationship. It's completely free. You can download it via the link in the description below this vid. But anyhow, let's break down why you're obsessed with your ex and what actually works to stop it. First, let's talk what's actually happening in your brain. So when you were in a relationship with your ex, your brain formed literal neural pathways associated with them. And every time you saw them, touched them, heard their voice, talked to them, your brain released feel-good chemicals like dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. And over time, your brain became addicted to this person. Not metaphorically addicted, like actually neurologically addicted. The same way someone becomes addicted to drugs or alcohol. And then what happened? Your ex disappeared. Suddenly, your brain's supply of feel-good chemicals got cut off. And just like a drug addict going through withdrawal, your brain is now desperately trying to get its fix. And that's why you keep checking their social media, obsessing about them, replaying memories. Your brain is seeking out anything that can give you even a small hit of those chemicals that it's craving. And here's where it gets worse. Every time you think about your ex, you're actually reinforcing those neural pathways. You're training your brain to keep obsessing. You're feeding the addiction instead of breaking it. So all those times you told yourself, I'll just check their Instagram one more time, or I'm gonna just drive past their house to see if their car is still there, like you weren't getting closure. You were making your obsession stronger. Now, you probably tried to just stop thinking about your ex. You tried to maybe push through the thoughts by distracting yourself, by keeping busy. And it doesn't work, right? At least not most of the time. Often, what you'll see is that it just makes everything far worse. And there's actually a psychological explanation for this. It's called the white bear problem, or ironic process theory if you want to get fancy. Basically, when you try to suppress a thought, your brain has to keep checking to make sure you're not thinking about it, which means you're still thinking about it. You're just thinking about it in a more stressful, exhausting way. It's like if I told you right now, don't think of a pink elephant. What are you thinking about? Obviously a pink elephant. The same thing happens with your ex. The harder you try not to think about them, the more mental energy you're devoting to them, and the more you end up thinking about them. And this is why distraction doesn't work long term. Because you're not actually dealing with the obsession, you're just trying to run away from it. And eventually, it catches up with you. And here's another reason you can't stop thinking about your ex. Uncertainty. Your brain craves uncertainty. It craves closure, answers, resolution. And breakups are full of uncertainty. Like, why did they leave? Do they still think about you? Is there still a chance that you can get back together? What are they doing right now? Are they happier now without you? Like all these unanswered questions, it keeps your brain spinning. It's like an open loop that never closes. Your brain keeps trying to solve the puzzle, figure out the mystery, make sense of what happened. And every time you think about your ex, your brain thinks it's getting closer to an answer. So it keeps doing it over and over and over again. And this is why so many people get addicted to analyzing their breakup. Now, here's something most people don't realize. You're not actually obsessing over your ex, you're obsessing over what they represented. This is a phenomenon that happens in, I'd say, 9 out of 10 people that I deal with, that I help coach in some capacity. So let me explain what I mean. Your ex made you feel a certain way. Maybe they made you feel loved, desired, secure, important. Maybe they gave you validation or a sense of purpose or relief from loneliness even. And now that they're gone, you don't just miss them, you miss those feelings. You miss feeling loved, you miss feeling important, you miss not being alone. But your ex didn't create those feelings, they just temporarily satisfied them. That's what you have to realize. And now you're confusing the supplier with the supply itself. Maybe you think that you need your ex back to feel loved again, but what you actually need is to learn how to generate those feelings yourself. And until you do that, I think you're gonna go and you're gonna keep being obsessed, because you're essentially trying to use your ex as a drug to fix your emotional problems. And drug addicts don't stop thinking about their drug of choice until they find a different source of fulfillment. So, if distraction doesn't work and suppression doesn't work, what the hell does? The answer is going to sound backwards, but just stay with me here, okay? You need to stop fighting the thoughts. I'm not saying you should indulge them. I'm not saying you should stalk their social media or drive past your ex's house. But I am saying you need to stop treating the thoughts themselves as the enemy. When a thought about your ex pops up in your head, don't panic. Don't try to push it away. Just notice it, acknowledge it. Oh, there's a thought about my ex, like that. And then, and this is the key, don't engage with it. Don't follow it down like a rabbit hole. Don't start analyzing or ruminating or fantasizing. Just let it be there like a cloud passing through the sky. Meditation, by the way, mindfulness, therapy, journaling, they all help with that a lot. If any of those methods resonate, give them a try. So essentially you want to notice the thought, then gently redirect your attention to something else, something more productive. And yes, this takes practice, a lot of it, but over time you can train your brain that these thoughts don't need your attention, that they're just thoughts. They're not emergencies, they don't require action necessarily. And gradually, again, not overnight, but gradually, very gradually, the thoughts start to lose their power, their hold over you. They become less frequent, less intense, they bother you less. And once you've done that, once you've become better at managing your thoughts, then you also have to address the underlying reasons you're obsessing in the first place. So that means working on your self-esteem, so you're not so dependent on maybe your ex for validation. It means building a fulfilling life on its own, not just a life that's waiting for your ex to come back and, to make it complete. It means accepting that your ex is gone. Those kind of things. This is hard work. It's uncomfortable, it takes time, but it is something that does work long term. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to download my free reattraction cheat sheet, to remind you, the link to it is in the description down below. It's my entire roadmap for getting an ex back. Go and check it out. Probably the coolest resource that I've ever made. I've made so far. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching and take care.